6 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. We can get a roll call. Neil.
Yes.
Jared.
Here.
Derek. Here. Katie.
Here.
Lane. Here. All right, moving on to Part B, flag salute and prayer, led by Neil.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lord Jesus, we pray, Lord, that you bless this group tonight as we make decisions for the Piedmont School District. We also pray, Lord, that you bless the country as we're going through this time of transition and provide wisdom to our new leadership as we try to unify the country.
All right, moving on to item 2, public participation. All right, nobody? All right, moving on to item 3, presentations, 2024-2025 budget hearing. Jennifer.
Okay, I put a copy of the budget in front of you because I just think it's easier to see than on your little screens. So we'll just go through it and stop me if you have any questions. The first is just a cover page for the general fund budget. The next page is just the recap of last fiscal year. Final revenue, including fund balance, was $49 million. Final expenditures was $43.6, and we ended with a $5.4 million fund balance. And then looking at fiscal year 25, our projected revenue, including our fund balance, is 46.3. That is the number that you guys already saw in the estimate of needs that got approved. And then our projected expenditures are 45.28 million for the year. The next page is the actual breakdown of the general fund budget expenditures. It's by function code. So that is how you have to approve it by law. In the middle is a description of what those function codes include. Some of them are not super explanatory, so do you have any questions on any of those specifically?
I did have a question on the front page. What was our projected revenue last year at this time? I mean, what kind of percentage do we think that will raise? I mean, I know that our projected is always below what we end up with. Mm-hmm. Do we have any?
I do not have that exact number, but I can get it for you.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, we definitely had over collections last year, and we already do this year.
Right.
So, and I'll kind of go over that a little bit more when we go through the graphs. I've got just some more information on the over collections we've got so far this year, just to kind of give you an idea of where we're headed with those.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so on the expenditure page, you can see the FY24 amounts are there, and then the FY25 amounts. All of them have gone up at least a little bit, with the exception of the 2600 function, which is operation and maintenance of plant services. And so that includes buildings, grounds, equipment, non-student vehicles. And so that went down because we moved expenditures to the building fund for some of the buildings, utilities and stuff this year. And so that's why that's a decrease. So we really aren't cutting expenditures, they just moved. And then just to give you an idea, our payroll that is currently encumbered right now is 85% of our budget. And we ended the year last year with our payroll sitting at 86%. So, and this year, I'm sure it will go up some just because we'll have substitutes we're not planning on and different things like that. Questions over anything on that page? Okay, the next page is just the cover sheet for the building fund budget. And then the next page is the building fund budget. So our projected revenue, including fund balance, is 9.6, which again is what you approved on the estimate of needs. And then our projected expenditures are a little over 8 million there. And then child nutrition fund Our projected revenue, including fund balance, is 2.7 million, which again is from the estimate of needs, and projected expenditures is 2.3 million. And that is my budget presentation. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
thank you for
You're
the
welcome.
details.
Anything else? Good, Neil? Neil, you good?
I'm good,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, all right. Katie?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's move on to item 4, business items, Part A, discuss and take possible action regarding 2024-25 school calendar revision, high school students only, virtual learning on April 9th and April 16th to administer state science and history test, and ACT test. Only 11th grade students will be on campus those dates.
Mark is going to share with you the rationale behind this. Jennifer.
The uniqueness of high school, only one grade level tests. So with these 2 virtual days, what we could do is just have the testing grade level. The juniors come, and what you do is you just create a much better testing environment where you don't have to worry about passing periods. You don't have to worry about bells, announcements, and things like that. So we could just focus on our grade level that we'll be testing, and we could squeeze 3 tests into those 2 days. One would be ACT, and then the following week we could do science and history for those high school students, those juniors.
We did this last year, didn't we?
We did it for ACT, and Steve, if there's anything you want to add, I thought it went really well. This would provide for the other tests, the science test and the history test that those juniors take as well.
Do we know the test dates before we make the calendar for the next school year?
There's a test window that doesn't come out usually until maybe the 5th or 6th week of our school year, so we could guess. But there's a window that we have to hit that the state gives us that we need to get the testing done in.
Did we track on did our test scores better last year?
Our test scores actually were not. They actually declined a little bit on the ACT.
I think it's a good idea. Less distraction, the better.
And probably less, and easier to cover the testing. too.
Definitely, that's the other part. You have all of the other teachers to help monitor and administer, for those proxies and things like that.
Any other questions on the calendar revision? All right, if not, looking for a motion.
Motion to approve action regarding 24-25 school calendar revision, high school students only, virtual learning on April 9th and April 16th to administer state sciences, history tests, and ACT test. Only 11th grade students will be on campus on those dates.
All second?
All right, we got a motion by Neil and a second by Derek. Can we get a vote?
Neil?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
Derek? Yes. Katie?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes. All right, Part B, discuss and take possible action on proposed payment of extra duty stipends as listed on attachment B. Incremental stipends not listed in negotiated agreement. Any questions on those, or do you want to make any comments?
Just if there are any questions.
Any questions? Looks pretty self-explanatory.
I make a motion we approve proposed payment of extra duty stipends as listed in attachment B.
I'll second.
Get a motion by Derek and a second by Jared. We get a vote?
Neil?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
Derek? Yes. Katie?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes. All right, Part C, discuss and take possible action regarding guaranteed maximum price amendment for Stone Ridge Portable 3 project, guaranteed not to exceed $58,659.
Just to remind you, we talked about this last week. This is the amount is no different. This is just the actual contract with Lingo for that. And I've asked them to start bringing that quote and the contract on the same meeting. So we'll have it one time instead of, I think it's kind of confusing to see it twice.
How many portables was that for again? Do you remember?
This is our third this year, but I couldn't tell you how many we have. You might see the PI portable. I think they're multiplying over there.
Any other questions?
No.
I'll move to approve the guaranteed maximum price amendment for Stone Ridge Portable 3 project, guaranteed not to exceed $58,659.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Katie and a second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Neil,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes, Katie,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to Part D. Discuss and take possible action to approve lowest best bid for high school hitting facility from Penn's Athletic Fields and Building Construction for $486,917.
Matt's going to talk through this just a little bit, see if you have any questions.
Yeah, we were excited that Penn's Athletic won the bid. They were the sole bidder. He's done a lot of good work. Phil Pennington is his name. Built the similar facility at SNU, Seminole State. He's also built Fire Lake Complex. He does a very good job. You know, this, you'll remember that we got the 250 bank for this. And we'll be able to begin right away. Completion date hopefully early March.
Did I see where we started it today? Or,
Well, the dirt work, we're starting dirt work Monday.
okay, awesome.
Well,
With your approval.
Well done, Matt.
will you have like a design or anything that we can take a look at some point in time? Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Any questions, comments?
Nope, I make a motion, we approve the lowest, best bid for high school hitting facility from Penn's Athletic Fields and Building Construction, $486,917.
I'll second.
All right, get a motion by Derek and a second by Neil. Can we get a vote?
Neil,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes, Katie,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item E, discuss and take possible action regarding revisions, consolidations, and deletions of duplicate policies. So these are all in one package. I think everybody saw, you don't have to go through them individually. If anybody has any questions or comments about any of these singular? I think it's I packaged them well, so we don't,
Thank you.
the redundancy won't put us asleep. Yeah, and thanks for organizing that. I'm assuming y'all,
It's that whole group, but
Team
the little
effort, team effort.
because it,
But I can tell you that
There's a
Lisa's
lot.
put the most effort of anybody. We're getting that document where it's searchable. And we had the first version of that, and you guys will be able to do the same thing. It'll be on the website for parents and anybody that wants to look at it, but it'll be searchable in a fashion that you could type in transfers and it'll show you every time the word transfer comes up. And it's so much easier to find what you're looking for than to read down through all the different ones. And we're getting there. We'll be bringing you revisions to policies for a long time. That's a never-ending thing, but we're getting close to having the document in pretty good shape.
well, thank you. It looks good.
Just quick question. Once we get policies approved by the board, do they come up for annual revision or is it just sort of until they need a?
It's there until sometimes at the bottom of each policy, it'll say when it was last revised. And if we need to look at a policy, we look at it and bring it to you. If you have questions, we look at that policy and bring it to you. Very often, what changes that is the law. The law will change, and so we have to change the policy. Sometimes it's a policy worked before, but we've got a better plan and we'll change the policy. We always bring it to you.
Okay.
Any questions, comments
Nope.
about the 15 on there?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to take action regarding revisions, consolidations, deletions, and duplicate policies 1 through 15 on the agenda.
I'll second.
And it's a Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, yes.
All right, got a motion by Neil and a second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Neil,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right, and item F.
Item F is going to be tabled.
Okay. Item F. All right, moving on to Part 5, consent agenda. Did I get everything? Consent agenda. Discuss and vote to approve all consent items. These items may be approved by one board motion unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. Questions, comments on any of these? Board meeting dates, I checked November 11th is on a Tuesday next year,
Very good.
so I looked that one up. Questions, comments on any A through J?
Nope.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items A through J.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Lane, second by Katie. Can we get a vote?
Neil,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right, moving on to item 6, financial report.
Okay, first, Jared, I have an answer.
Oh.
The estimate of needs amount last year was 42.3 million. We ended up bringing in 49. So we brought in 6.6 million in excess of what we thought we would with the estimate of needs. Part of that was over collections and part of that was a mid-year adjustment from the State Department, yeah,
Okay.
with our state aid.
I just looked at FY '25 going, ooh, that's tight, but it's gonna be more.
Yeah,
Always is.
We hope.
We hope.
we hope. Okay, so moving on to the graphs. So the general fund, I don't think much has changed on the expenses, because we've had most everything encumbered already. But we're sitting at a balance of 1.8 million, with what we have encumbered and spent for the year. And then the collections down below. So you're going to see the bulk of our over collections right now in the district column. And a lot of that is coming from our sweep account that you guys approved towards the end of last fiscal year. We have brought in $243,000 in interest for
Wow.
this fiscal year. So it does,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
So-
great.
yes.
Well done.
It fluctuates each month, obviously, with how much we have in our account on the interest, but it's averaging $48,000 a month.
Wow.
So definitely, that was not included in the estimate of needs because we didn't really know what to expect. We had only gotten 1 month at that point of interest, so we weren't really sure what the trend was going to be. So most of that is going to be over collections this year. So that's going to help boost our carryover.
And we don't have to we don't have to revise that? We're not,
The only reason we would need to do a supplemental to our estimate of needs is if we need to spend it.
okay.
So if we need to spend more than we're approved to spend, then we would do a supplemental. We would
But
come back to you with that.
Right now, it doesn't look like we're gonna need to.
No, right now, I think
encumber
we're
that.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to send F&M Bank a big thank you card.
For several things, actually.
Yes, yeah. So that's exciting, for me at least.
What was the number?
Hopefully for you.
250 what?
243,000
243,
that we've
wow.
brought in so far. Yeah. Okay, so the next is the building fund. And in that, we have a balance of 2.6 million with our encumbered and spent for the year. And our collections there have not had a ton yet because the biggest thing is taxes. And so that'll start coming up now that we're getting closer to the end of the year and beginning of next year when everybody starts paying their taxes. So the majority of that is carryover. Next is child nutrition. Again, we've had a couple of claims paid, but we've still got September and October out. So collections are pretty close to the same as last month. We've just had student payments come through. And then as far as encumbered and spent, we're left with a balance of $521,000. And the majority of that is encumbered to Sodexo. Bond fund has stayed the same. Nothing has changed there. And then sinking fund has also stayed the same. Questions on any of the graphs?
Sound like a broken record, but these are great. It's
Yeah.
very easy to navigate.
Good. I'm glad you still
Jared,
like them.
good.
It is, she does a great job of yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All right, if nothing else, then let's move on to item 7, executive session. Part A, vote to convene or not to convene into executive session to discuss employment is listed on attachment C, 250S 307B1.
I vote that we do not convene into executive session.
A motion from Derek to not convene and a second by Jared. All right, can we get a vote?
Neil,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right. All right, so no executive session. Part 8, action item. Part A, discuss and take possible action on employment is listed on attachment C. I'll make a motion that we approve attachment C.
I'll second.
Motion by Lane, second by Derek. Can we get a vote?
Neil,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, item 9, new business.
We have no new business.
No new business. Good news. All right. Item 10, superintendent's report.
If I can get this to do what I want it to do, there we are. All right. So first, this is just the Veterans Day Assembly at Piedmont Intermediate, but we had one, they actually had two, one for each grade level. I show you that side because that's one grade level at PI, and then they had another one the next day for the other grade level. And then on November 11th, Monday, we had Veterans Assemblies at all the other sites. They were great, had lots of feedback. Josh Kane spoke at the high school Veterans Assembly and did a fantastic job. And so we just want to thank all of our veterans for their service, including you, Lane. Do we have any other veterans on the? Okay, thanks, Lane. We appreciate it.
I was a lot younger.
I don't know if you know, what's that?
Much my younger days.
Okay. I think you know this. I think that we talked about this before, that we had a state championship on the same day as volleyball, softball, but it wasn't softball, it was unified volleyball. So and there's a picture of our state champions in volleyball. Great job. Mm-hmm. And then on the 27th of October, we had this group of Wildcats go to a workshop entitled Yes We Can. And they were learning more about PLCs, but also about instructional strategies and closing achievement goals or achievement gaps and helping all kids be successful. So, you know, one of the things that is going to drive us further down the road to being a great district is continuing to improve our professional development of our staff, and we continue to do that. So the Transportation Department launched a new app. It's called Stop Finder. Some of you, I see Derek is nodding his head. Do any of the others on that? Pretty cool. Oh, you're on it too?
It's a great app.
So what it does, gives real-time tracking to parents. We've been working on this for about a year, and I appreciate Josh for all his hard work on that. So our parents can sign up. They get the app. It's secure. They're able to tell where the bus is, whether it's left the barn yet, whether it's on the road, exactly where it is. You can set up geofencing, so it'll give you a text whenever it passes a certain place on a road that's a mile away from where the stop is, so you can send your kids out. It's pretty cool. Parents can also view bus schedules. If that changes, it sends out text messages to them. Parents can receive delay alerts. So, occasionally we'll have a bus that breaks down or is just running behind because of traffic, and we get those alerts sent out to everybody that signs up. And then they can set up custom notifications so they can find out just the information that they want. We have 700 families registered so far. We encourage everybody that rides bus to sign up. And this is our district enrollment. It hasn't changed. Actually, we've gone down 3 kids from last month, but we're right there around 5,400, and those are the numbers for each of the sites, and they continue to be steady. Today we had a fun day. It was the foundation gave $26,870 out to very grateful teachers at all the sites. They wrote grants a month or so back, and so they were surprised today when the administration and the foundation were able to go out there and deliver some money to those teachers and kids, and you can see some of them there. And that is my report.
Great. Thank you. Good stuff. Those numbers that's crazy to look at those numbers.
Yeah.
Doubled since, your tenure for sure.
Yep.
So,
And
anything else?
that bus app is fantastic. So kudos to everybody involved in that. It has saved my kids from being late several times.
Just beware, when the app goes down, we're in trouble. Then everybody's going to be screaming.
And just a little feedback. I've had a couple parents in the last 3 weeks make some comments basically saying they appreciate the responsiveness that they've received, and one of them told her she was being high maintenance. She reached out to multiple people about different things. But anyway, she was happy with the feedback that she got. She felt like one of her problems wasn't solved to how she wanted it, but she appreciated the back and forth, and I've got that a little bit from some people in my neighborhood, so thank you. And that's much appreciated. So I think you need to hear that from time to time. So. Anything else? All right, if not, we'll move on to last item, adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I will second.
Motion by Jared, second by Derek. We going to vote?
Neil.
Yes.
Jared.
Yes.
Derek. Yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. Time is 6:28.